The Art of Justice, a tale of vengeance and redemption. In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, Ohio, a single act of intrusion ignited a battle that would captivate an entire community. Eleanor Grayson, a domineering HOA president, broke into Tom Hargrove's garage studio, only to call the police and accuse him of wrongdoing. When officers arrived and found her sleek Mercedes-Benz encircled by an ingenious art installation, Eleanor's piercing scream echoed through the night, drawing neighbors from their homes. The police stood by, watching her unravel, while Tom revealed that every step he'd taken was perfectly legal. What began as Eleanor's vendetta became a masterclass in justice, one that would leave everyone questioning where the line between revenge and righteousness truly lies. Tom Hargrove, a 52-year-old sculptor and lighting designer, had inherited his father's garage studio in Willow Creek 3 decades ago. The studio, a fixture since the 1950s when the area was dotted with orchards, was more than a workspace, it was a legacy. Tom crafted intricate light installations for weddings, festivals, and corporate galas, blending engineering precision with artistic flair. His creations dazzled crowds, but they required meticulous safety protocols, a skill he'd honed over years. After a bruising HOA dispute at 35 over a noise violation from his welding equipment, Tom immersed himself in property law, mastering every loophole to protect his family's heritage. Then Eleanor Grayson moved into a manicured colonial 3 streets over. At 55, Eleanor was a formidable real estate broker whose Mercedes gleamed as brightly as her ambition. As HOA president, she wielded her authority like a scepter, viewing every home through the lens of resale value. Unbeknownst to Tom, her animosity stemmed from a long-forgotten slight. In 2018, Tom had pitched a glowing light sculpture for Willow Creek's town square. Eleanor, then a member of the Civic Arts Board, led the charge to reject it, calling it a reckless eyesore unfit for our town's charm. Her vote cost Tom a $40,000 commission and a shot at regional fame. He'd buried the memory, but Eleanor hadn't. The feud began with a curt note taped to Tom's studio door: "Remove this junkyard clutter. This is a respectable neighborhood." And signed, it reeked of Eleanor's polished venom. Tom dismissed it as a neighbor's bad day. A week later, an official HOA email arrived, signed by Eleanor Grayson, demanding $600 for unauthorized structures disrupting community standards. The studio, built before the HOA existed, was exempt under grandfathered zoning laws, but Eleanor ignored Tom's calls. When she scheduled an HOA meeting, Tom knew he was walking into a trap. The meeting unfolded in Eleanor's pristine living room, her real estate plaques glinting under soft lighting. 7 board members flanked her like a jury, while Eleanor presided behind a desk stacked with photos of Tom's studio and a binder labeled code violations. Armed with his father's property deeds and legal precedents, Tom thought truth would prevail. Eleanor dismantled his arguments with icy precision, questioning the deed's validity and dismissing grandfathered exemptions as outdated loopholes. Her jab, "We don't need hobbyists cluttering our streets," carried a personal sting. That night, unable to sleep, Tom dug into public records and uncovered the 2018 Arts Board vote. Eleanor's grudge wasn't about rules, it was revenge. Her harassment escalated. Tom's sprinkler system ran overnight, flooding his driveway and spiking his water bill. Trash-rotting takeout containers and coffee cups appeared scattered across his lawn. A new security camera was spray-painted black within a day. The final blow came at 3 a.m. when someone flipped the studio's main breaker, ruining a $4,000 light installation for a regional festival. The delicate wiring, left unpowered, failed safety tests, and the client canceled, citing reliability concerns. The loss wasn't just financial. It tarnished Tom's reputation. Sitting in his darkened studio, surrounded by his father's old tools, Tom reached a breaking point. His father, a Korean War veteran who'd built the studio with his own hands, had once said, "Art is how you fight back when the world tries to shrink you." Those words sparked a plan. Tom installed 6 high-definition cameras with night vision and motion sensors. He studied weeks of footage, noting Eleanor's patterns. Then he devised a trap she'd never see coming. Eleanor's next move was bold. Emboldened by her unchecked power, She called 911, claiming hazardous electrical fumes from Tom's studio posed a fire risk to the neighborhood. Sirens wailed as fire trucks, police cars, and code enforcement vans swarmed Willow Creek Lane. A no-nonsense fire captain demanded immediate access, while Eleanor watched from across the street, arms crossed, a triumphant smirk on her face. For 3 hours, officials tore through Tom's studio, testing circuits and inspecting permits. Neighbors gawked as Eleanor posted online, "Community vigilance ensures our safety. Thank you, first responders." The investigation found no violations. Tom's setup was impeccable, but the ordeal cost him $2,500 in fees and a 2-week work ban. Clients backed out, and his biggest contract, a $7,000 festival job, vanished. In the silence of his red-tagged studio, Tom stared at a photo of his father welding in 1965. Eleanor was erasing a legacy built over generations. But defeat clarified his resolve. Digging deeper into municipal codes, Tom discovered his studio's grandfathered status was ironclad, overriding HOA rules. Better yet, he could apply for a temporary public art permit, allowing community-focused installations on his property. The permit application was a stroke of genius. Tom described an exhibit exploring privacy, boundaries, and civic harmony, using vague, artsy jargon that city planners ate up. Approved in days, it gave him legal cover to build something extraordinary. He designed modular steel panels with a faux stone facade, assemblable in minutes. Integrated LED arrays, certified for public events, would create a stunning light show. Every component met safety codes. Tom tested the system, encircling his pickup truck in under 4 minutes. It was perfect. Then he noticed Eleanor's routine. Every evening, she parked her Mercedes 15 inches over his property line to spy on the studio, jotting notes and snapping photos. In property law, those 15 inches made her a trespasser. Tom staged his studio to bait her. Fake blueprints for an illegal expansion left visible, loud phone calls about pushing back against the HOA, and a dummy binder labeled neighborhood compliance strategy. Eleanor took the bait, her surveillance intensifying. She recruited Marjorie Klein, a loyal HOA ally, to join her reconnaissance. On a moonless Friday at 11:45 p.m., Eleanor and Marjorie parked the Mercedes 15 inches onto Tom's land and crept to the studio. Carrying bolt cutters and a high-end camera, they picked the lock with practiced ease. Tom, watching via live stream to a hired security firm, recorded every move. Eleanor rifled through the fake binder, whispering excitedly to Marjorie, "He's planning to sue the HOA for harassment. Look, he's got our addresses." Marjorie suggested planting evidence of electrical faults to shut Tom down. Their conspiracy, captured in crisp audio, was damning. As they scoured the studio, Tom texted his neighbor, Ed, a retired carpenter who'd prepped the panels. In 3 minutes and 52 seconds, they erected a stone-like wall around the Mercedes, transforming it into a glowing courtyard. Tom dialed 911. "I'm reporting a break-in at 472 Willow Creek Lane. The intruders are contained in a permitted art installation. Please send officers." Eleanor's scream when she saw the wall could have woken the dead. "This is kidnapping. Arrest him," she shrieked, banging on the panels. 2 squad cars arrived, their lights painting the street red and blue. Officer Daniels, a grizzled veteran, surveyed the scene with a raised eyebrow. "Explain how these women ended up inside a wall," he said. Tom, sipping coffee on his porch, presented his case. First, the property survey, confirmed by Officer Lee, showed the Mercedes on his land. Second, security footage revealed Eleanor and Marjorie breaking in, vandalizing equipment, and plotting false reports. Third, the art permit legalized the installation. For the finale, Tom pressed a remote, and vibrant LED beams erupted around the Mercedes, a dazzling display that left Eleanor wailing, "He's trying to burn us alive." The crowd neighbors drawn by the commotion gasped, then cheered. Officer Daniels, stifling a grin, clarified, "Ma'am, you're in no danger. This is a permitted light display, safer than a 4th of July show." Neighbors piled on, airing years of Eleanor's abuses, towing cars, finding wrong paint colors, reporting pets for minor barks. Mrs. Callahan, 78, recounted Eleanor's $150 fine for her tacky rose bushes. The pattern was undeniable. Eleanor had terrorized Willow Creek for years. Eleanor and Marjorie were arrested for trespassing, vandalism, and conspiracy. The next evening, an emergency HOA meeting in Eleanor's own living room became her undoing. 50 residents packed the space, voting 48-1 to oust her. Marjorie had resigned hours earlier, dodging the fallout. The district attorney charged Eleanor with multiple felonies, and her real estate license was revoked. Viral videos of her meltdown, dubbed Mercedes Madwoman, racked up 60 million views, turning her into a national symbol of HOA tyranny. Her career collapsed, her clients fled, and she slunk away to a small apartment in another state, trading her Mercedes for a used hatchback. Willow Creek transformed. The HOA dissolved, freeing residents to paint homes in bold hues and plant whimsical gardens. Tom's studio became a local landmark, designated historic by the city. His light art commissions tripled, with festivals clamoring for the guy who lit up the internet. Art students apprenticed under him, and kids flocked to watch him work, sparks flying as he shaped metal. The wall panels, stored in a corner, bore a plaque, Illumination 7, boundaries lit bright. They reappeared for community events, a reminder that art could outshine oppression. Tom's victory inspired a movement. Light walling became slang for creative resistance, sparking nationwide campaigns against HOA overreach. Law schools studied his case as a model of property rights ingenuity. One spring afternoon, a 9-year-old girl, paint smudged on her cheeks, peeked into the studio. "Can I see how you make light?" she asked. Tom grinned, handing her a welding mask. "Art isn't just beauty," he said. "It's how you stand up to bullies." As she watched, mesmerized, Tom knew his father's legacy shone brighter than ever. What do you think of Tom's stand against Eleanor? Was his elaborate trap a justified response to her bullying, or did he cross a line into vengeance? Share your thoughts below, especially on how we confront injustice and bullying in our own lives. Where do you draw the line between fighting back and going too far? Let's hear your perspective.